just know at 10 o'clock they're going to go in the fridge, they're going to grab their Tupperware, heat it up, eat it, not thinking, it's done. They've ate their macros for the day. The people that go over are the ones that pull out the peanut butter jar, try to hit a little bit of fat. They can't stop eating it, and then they coach.
And some of it is really creating those habits, because I know some of my most successful contest preps were when I would do something like, I know I'm going to be dieting pretty aggressively. I know my body type requires, more of a push than some people. But if I could save half a cup of fat-free frozen yogurt or ice cream at night with a scoop of protein powder, and it's like, oh my gosh, that is my salvation for the day. And that's just every night like clockwork. It's like, it's good. I'm good. I don't have to feel like I missed anything at all.
Yeah.
So did you have anything you were planning?
Well, I do. Well, I'll give myself for example. Like, I'm kind of like that approach that you described, and how I just pick my meals as I go. But I know myself well to where if I flip that switch of prep mode, I won't deviate. If I know that they're that type of person, I allow that a little bit of flexibility. But I make sure that they have a 3 to 5 hour gap between their meals. That's kind of the gold standard of don't do anything in between unless your blood sugar is really low. Always have protein with your meals to make sure your blood sugar is a little more stable. That's kind of the gold standard for me. I tell my clients, and then adjust accordingly for your workouts. Save carbs for your workouts. Make sure that throughout the day they're a little bit lower. Your other meals, will really preserve those. And so I give examples of what I do. And sometimes that, like I said before, creates too much flexibility where they have to be self-aware of the type of person they are. If they're going home and they have this many macros left and they're rummaging through the fridge, they're going to look at, instead of the chicken, broccoli, they're going to look at, you know what, I'm just going to throw this down and heck with this, or I didn't lose any weight today.
That's where a lot of binges and that kind of come from. You're hungry and you start hitting those processed carbs.
Well, I think the term flexible dieting gets associated with junk food. So, as you said with your inquiries, I've had people inquire and say, I hear you're a flexible dieting coach, but I don't like junk food. And I'll reply, where did I say that you have to be junk food? So,
you're going to make me eat Doritos.
Yeah, there was definitely a period where flexible dieting got associated with not an approach where you're exchanging foods, where you're getting as much junk as you can and still hitting your macro numbers. So now I don't actually use the term if it fits your macros, because to me that's almost like the right-wing version of flexible dieting. I like the structured flexibility approach.
Absolutely.
Some people even try and use flexible dieting at the golf course as a way to cure their binging habits. And that I think is not good. If they have that initially, it's really like that straight structure.
So really quickly, so we get into diet modulation, I agree with what you said, Paul, that pre- and post-workouts is critical to me. Like, I will center the day around that, because even if I'm dieting aggressively, this is still body building. I want to support performance in the gym, so I always want to have very, very solid and appropriate pre- and post-workout nutrition. Then I can worry about the rest of the day, and that's where, like you said, Tyler, we can break apart between 3 to 5 hours in between meals, depending on the circumstances. So let's speak to that just a little bit. When you said that pre and post is critical to you, how do you structure that? What kind of macro levels are you looking at?
Well, I'll give a framework of 20 to 30% of your daily total carbs in a pre-workout setting. However, if we have someone taking in 500 grams of carbohydrates a day, obviously they're just going to need to spread them out as evenly as they can digest them. But when we get down to 150 grams of carbohydrates, that's when I want them to have something that they digest well in a pre-workout setting, where they can go into the gym and not risk, performance or workout loss during their training. To the point where I'll even, for some people, suggest they bring something to the gym for their workout if their training sessions are going to be long. And then, now the post-workout window, I feel, is secondary to the pre-workout. I want to make sure the training is good. I'm not a big believer in you need to replenish glycogen right now for a bodybuilder who's not going to train again until the next day. Triathlete, someone like that, obviously they're going to have to focus on nutrition post-training a little bit more. But I want to make sure that we're getting them the pre-workout, ideally, post-workout, whatever works best for their lifestyle. If they're training early in the morning, then maybe they have a big meal after. If they train late at night, maybe they're not going to have a huge meal at night. Maybe they've kind of had more during the day. But that pre-workout, and I will try to suggest, 15 to 30% of the carbs post-workout if it fits their lifestyle.
And Tyler, do you have any any specific differences between if you're training in the morning as soon as you wake up or midday? How would you change that pre and post workout?
So if they're training in the morning, if it's beginning at 3 a.m. to work out at 4 a.m., like super extreme in the morning, they're not going to wake up earlier. They don't wake up earlier to have a good meal and then let it digest. They're going to just get up and go. So I'll have a much smaller meal. It'll be maybe a half a shake, nothing that's just too full in their stomach to feel nauseous while they're working out. Maybe some BCAAs or maybe a half scoop of protein, and then maybe a little bit of fruit just to get you going, or like what you boys suggested, maybe a small half-price cake with peanut butter or your Reese's Pieces. And something smaller to get you going.
A little bit goes a long way because you're stable. Your energy levels are stable when you wake up, even though blood sugar is low. And some people don't even mind training fasted. For a competitive physique athlete, I would not recommend that. But if they feel like they have to, that's fine. That's where you can do some BCAAs.
And one, Leanne actually, we did an experiment. She always trained fasted, and she's a high-level physique athlete, and she's full of muscle. And so, like, we have to do something different with your training. She's like, I'm not going to eat before. I'm like, no, you have to. And she gets up at 3 a.m. to work out, and she just wants to go. And like, just do it for 2 weeks and just see what happens. And immediately, like 5 days later, into it, she's like right away. Oh my god, it
was amazing, right?
Yeah, she felt great, and she looked different too. She improved a lot.
Yeah, even it doesn't even have to be simple carbs. Like when I used to train in the morning, because for some reason physically, I was always able to retain more lean body mass and get leaner if I did my weight training in the morning and cardio later in the day. And I repeated that for 20 years, off and on. And it's like that's always when I look my best. And so I got in the habit of something like just maybe a third of a cup of oatmeal in a scoop of protein powder. And by the time you get to the gym, it's been 30 minutes later. Even though it's a complex carb, it's a small amount, digest pretty quickly. And man, yeah, you're having a much better workout.
And then post-workout is where you really focus on getting a bigger meal. If you can sit down and eat or just have food and carbs.
Well, someone that trains that early in the morning, that's one of the real benefits I find with fasting a little bit is that if you're to eat pre-workout at 4 in the morning, you're going to be really struggling to stay under your calories with it because that hunger is going to be elevated post-workout, post-training.
Yeah. Now the hindsight of that, if you're eating a lot of your carbs post-workout, now you have the entire day to start there to resist eating carbs. So one thing that I did from you, Joe, is just have something like a protein-only meal, like a shake or something to stop metabolism. And then a few hours later, just stretch out the day, then have a normal meal with carbs. That way spread out a little bit.
That's always my hardest core type dieting. If my carbs are really low, that's what I will do. It's like we said, just at least get protein post-workout, and then go as far as you can before you have to have the next meal. It may only be 2 hours or so because you did train, and that does increase your hunger. So you mentioned, Tyler, the phrase 3 to 5 hours at a time. So you're not somebody who says you must eat every 2.5 to 3 hours. There could be times in the day where you're not eating for a longer span. How do you judge that for a plan?
Well, if they're up early and they're up late, like myself, I have to really spread my meals out. So if they know they can only get 4 meals a day, they're going to be spreading out pretty far. If they're one that gets up at 6 and they're going to bed by 6, I don't really push it as much. If they're like an endomorph, I try to tell them or suggest spread out the meals longer. That way you can get more digestibility and support body fat. But it really depends on their lifestyle. That's like how long they're out, how rigid their day is. If they're in a scheduled day or they have meetings all day, I always try and suggest make sure you get something in before your meeting, especially if it's during the time that you're supposed to eat. You don't want to be in the meeting really mad that you have to go eat and you can't. You're just focused on food. So trying to relieve the idea of I'm missing my meal time or my meal, I need to get away, that it's the end of the world. How do you think that?
Yeah,
it's
horrible. That's a stressful feeling.
It's very stressful. So just trying to tell them, let it go, and then you're good. Just make it forward.
And before the intermittent fasting craze came out, I stumbled across this by accident a couple times. When I was actually dieting for a contest, I was in those situations. I remember car shopping one time, and I could not eat for 5 hours, and I was ready to die. I thought I was going to pass out. Like I'm losing all my muscle.
Yeah.
And then, the next day, I'm like down on the scale. I'm tight. I'm like, wow. Even though I got all my calories